Okay, hey everyone. So it's Monday, and I know I usually do this on Tuesdays, but I had something come up this week that I have to go to, and it just happens to be a YouTube conference. So I figured I might want to switch this to Monday this week. So I have some music going right now because I thought it might give us like better, I don't know, way to get started. I've definitely had a really long day so far, so I really wanted to get started in a way that gave me a little bit of energy. So make sure hold on a second. I think I have the right, just making sure my mic is not being annoying. I think we're good. Yeah. Okay. We have a few different things to talk about today. Oh, hi, we had some people join us. Okay. We have a few different things to talk about today, but first off, I'm Marcie Billen. I'm a real estate agent here in Norman, Oklahoma. This is our weekly show all about the Oklahoma City Metro, but mostly about Norman. Like, I really like to stay south of 240. As you may have guessed, I am a real estate agent, but I definitely live in Norman. And I think it's really important for people to get to know this town before you may want to move here, or maybe you already live here and you want to learn a little bit more about it. Today, our theme is housing, which is kind of hysterical because like I'm a realtor, so of course the theme is housing. And there were some really interesting articles and things that came up, so that's why I made that the theme. So let me turn this music off a little bit here because I think it will drive me crazy if I have it going the entire time. So if you have any questions as I'm going through these 3 different points that I have to make, go ahead and drop those in the comments for me and I can see those and we can answer whatever questions you have. Or if you have a statement, that's fine too. Okay, let me share my screen so you guys can see what I am talking about. Perfect. So if you guys don't know, you got it? We got it. Okay. So yeah, if you don't know, I read a few different things, a few different news sources to really get my information for this weekly show. The first is the Norman Transcript. I love local newspapers and I really, really wish ours was just a little bit better. However, sometimes, it's just what it is. Like I get it. We are a small town. So the first thing here is it says Norman's largest affordable housing project takes next steps. So I've kind of noticed these signs where they're talking about it. I'm going to pull up the map here in a second so you guys can see, or I hope I'm going to. I think I left it up. So this affordable housing project, so this is going to be at Imhoff and Oakhurst, I believe Oakhurst, Oak Cliff. If you know the neighborhoods, it's Oakhurst, and I'll show you on the map here in a second. But it's in South Norman. There's this open field next to this older neighborhood. It's actually really close to where the tornado came through. If you're familiar with that, it probably had a little bit of damage right in there. But what they're planning for this is 75 mixed units. 75 mixed units. These are going to be rent capped in relation to the average median income. So that makes it truly affordable. So if you don't know, the definition of affordable housing is that the housing cost itself would only be 30% of your income. That is the definition of affordable housing. So I gather it's going to be like townhouses, maybe some single family units, and then multi-unit properties. So these are going to be available to low-income residents, those on disability, as well as those qualifying for Section 8. And they're using federal money to do this. So that means that the federal government has pretty strict requirements on things like maintenance for the properties themselves. So that is good news in that it'll help those units stay very livable and just be really accessible. One of the things that we've heard a lot of complaints about here in Norman, sorry, I have to adjust my seat here, is that we do have a large homeless population. So this is one of the steps that we can take as a city to help mitigate this by hopefully keeping people from getting to that point. Those that, want to stay in housing and have that capped income or that capped rent, I mean, they'll be able to do that in these units. 75 is not a lot, but it is a great start. So I'm very excited to see this. I'm also excited that the developer is from Bartlesville, which is here in Oklahoma. And then it's a local, of course, property management company. So that makes me really happy to keep all of that wonderful money in the state and give people lots of jobs and lots of wonderful housing. Let me know what you think about that. I'm pretty excited. Okay, I'm going to show you where this is going to be. Whoops, I don't want to invite anyone. Guess you guys could be here with me. This is the one that I want. There it is. Okay. Oh, it went away, of course. This is a map of Norman. And so if you have no idea where we're at right now, this is the airport, Max Westheimer. And here's Core Norman. The streets that are kind of off center, that's the railroad tracks. And that's all downtown where the name Norman says it's big and large, right? And then if we go further south, we have, this is Highway 9. So this is a big highway. Out here is the Postal Training Center. Everything kind of south of Highway 9, well, not everything, but a lot of things are going to be a little bit more acreage and things like that. But it's the affordable housing is going to be right here. So this is Oakhurst, the street. This is the Oakhurst neighborhood. And then all of this right here will be the 75 units for the affordable housing. Cool. I'm excited. All right. Here we are back again. So the next thing is that the mayors of 3 different cities in the metro had a meeting. And I actually read about this one in the Oklahoman. And I know I can go to TV news sources too, and sometimes I do, but I prefer print. I'm that person, I guess. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I feel good about print. So this next one, this is in the journal. This wasn't in. So I don't even know. But they had this meeting. So it was Oklahoma City, Yukon, Edmond, Norman, and Midwest City all had a meeting together. And one of the things they talked about, and this was really interesting to me, this isn't necessarily about Norman, but it's something that I've thought about a lot, especially as I look at a town like Mustang. So if you've ever seen the town of Mustang and you've seen it on a map, it's just like this little strip of land, right? And it's completely surrounded by Oklahoma City. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, but all of those businesses that are technically serving, the townspeople of Mustang, the taxes from those businesses, whether it be property taxes or sales tax or whatever, are going to Oklahoma City and not the town of Mustang, which greatly, reduces how much money they're bringing in as a city. But I've always thought this, but the mayor of Yukon brought this up as well, saying that, she said, let's see, let me find it in my notes. Like some of the grocery store locations were actually outside city limits because in Yukon, it's surrounded on 3 sides by Oklahoma City, so they can't grow anymore without taking land back from Oklahoma City. And I don't think Oklahoma City is going to give it up. So it's an interesting situation. And we see it some in Norman, but we mostly see it with Oklahoma City. And that's because, and I think it was in the 60s, Stanley Draper, who was in charge of like city planning, decided to annex like thousands of acres for Oklahoma City so that it wouldn't be a town like Pittsburgh, where the suburbs completely surrounded the city itself. He wanted Oklahoma City to be like something that could sprawl out bigger. And that's why a lot of addresses that we have here in Oklahoma City are actually in the country. Like it's so funny to me. Every time I drive home from Tulsa, because I drive, from Tulsa to Oklahoma City a decent amount, the welcome to Oklahoma City sign is in the middle of a pasture. In the middle of a pasture. Like there's nothing. It just says welcome to Oklahoma City. And then there's like a cow standing behind it. The next thing that they talked about at this meeting, which I thought was super interesting, so this was the mayor of Norman, Larry Hecla. I think I'm saying his name right. I'm honestly not sure. I've never heard him say it because it's just spelled a little different. But yeah, he was talking, and actually, let me just put up this picture for you guys of them up on stage. There we go. Larry is the one seated in between the guy in the gray suit and the woman in the gray suit. So they were talking about regional transportation. So I'm hearing a lot more native Oklahomans, not like Native Americans, but like people that grew up here, talk more and more about the rise of traffic. And one thing that I always have to keep in mind is that Oklahoma City became a city during the rise of cars, right? Because Oklahoma became a state in 1907. Oklahoma City became a town in 1889. So right around 1907 and after, that's when cars came into place. So everything kind of revolved around cars, and we never had that sort of public transportation movement happening. We did a little bit with our streetcars, which disappeared very quickly, and now we have one back, thank goodness. But before it was just cars all the time, and it was just country because there was only 10,000 people in Oklahoma City for the longest time. So what they're saying here is that they want a commuter rail service between Norman and Edmond. And there are a couple of reasons for this. One is traffic, of course. It's normal for people to drive from Norman to Edmond and vice versa for work. And then, of course, it would make stops in between to Oklahoma City. So that'd be really helpful. And then we also have, my husband apparently is making a big clatter in the kitchen. So if you hear that, I'm sorry. So then it would also help with pollution that, we have a growing issue of pollution because of the cars on the street. So I think that's a really interesting project. And I hope we see that come to fruition, is some sort of amazing commuter rail system going from Norman to Edmond. Like that would be really cool. Okay, the next thing that we have, the last thing, is some pretty houses. So I usually don't show a lot of houses during this particular segment. We do a lot of pretty houses whenever I'm talking about regular stuff during my, videos that you guys see all the time. But I wanted to show you these houses because we recently had the Parade of Homes. So the Parade of Homes is like a competition for builders, and they like choose winners in different categories. I honestly never go. I look at pretty homes all the time, so I don't really go to like the Parade of Homes. That's just not what I do. So what they're talking about here is the relativity of the word expensive. It's very relative when it comes to Oklahoma. So I have 3 homes, or like 3 different areas to kind of talk through with you guys. The first one is this house in Edmond. This is actually pretty much in Arcadia, which, if you don't know, it's a small town next to Edmond. It's just going to be east of Edmond. And here it is on a map. So this is Arcadia Lake. It's a very beautiful lake. And the house that I'm talking about, that's $2.8 million. And I couldn't find like great pictures of it, but I have some of the house next door. This is where the house is. So it's like really close to Lake Arcadia. And so this house, this is the best picture that I could really find. Everything else was a mock-up. And then I have mock-ups of the house next door, which I liked the house next door better. So this is the mock-up. So this is 5 acres. They're calling it their version of Texas Hill Country, which I'm like, okay. I mean, I can kind of see that. It is a little bit hilly. It's nothing like Texas Hill Country from what I've seen. Uh, but would it be a cool place to live and close to Oklahoma City? For sure, for sure. But yeah, $2.8 million. Dollars. This is stepping into the space. You are naturally drawn to the sights and sounds in the rear courtyard provided by the cascading water from the 16-person spa. I think they mean a hot tub. Into the sweeping saltwater pool. So the house next door, because I couldn't find like great pictures of this one because apparently it's not listed. But this is the house. This one's more modern, but this is a mock-up, obviously, as well. But I thought the outside was so much prettier than that other one. So I wanted to show you guys this one. I thought it was gorgeous. But this is also how my house looks, besides for the gray rock. Like I don't have that. And my house is a lot smaller. But I really like this. But I thought it was beautiful, this sort of like mid-century feel. So this is like one of the more expensive neighborhoods. Arcadia has a very high price range. It's a very beautiful place to live, an amazing place to go look at houses or live if you can. Just a really amazing spot in Oklahoma. Okay, so the next is like the mid-range or mid-ish to lower range of homes. So the one that they marked as being a mid-priced entry, this one's in Valencia, which is in Edmond. Edmond's cool, guys. I like Edmond. I don't live in Edmond. I live in Norman. What I chose to show you here, though, I think is in Edmond. Yeah, I picked one in Edmond. So this is Valencia. These houses they're calling active adult communities. So these are 3 that they have available. I don't think the one that they showed in the Parade of Homes is available anymore. So like this one is 410,000, 1,800 square feet for bedroom. And this one is 1,700 square feet and it's a 2-bedroom. And then this one's 1,800 square feet and it's a 3-bedroom. So these are beautiful homes. I really like this builder. It's actually a sister company to the house I live in. So I think they're quite beautiful. Sorry if I go really fast because that's what realtors do. We look at houses incredibly quickly. So these are all a little bit smaller lots. These have HOAs, and this one also is going to have a pool because it's an active adults community. Is that all the ones I have? No, thank God. So yeah, here's the inside. I just was in another house that they built or like the sister company built where they had these lights. I thought they were really pretty. I really like the black accents. And then we have a lot more wood going into houses right now too, which I like it. Like wood floors and then wood cabinets. Like I think it looks really good. It's not as orange as it used to be, right? So then the last one, which is the lowest level range, is going to be these Tabor homes. I sell a lot of Tabor homes. And let me go back to this one. So this one was 1,600 square feet and priced at $311,000. And this one's in Nichols Creek. And it's a craftsman style home, but we have a really cool community in Moore called the Waters. And it's a great spot, like especially if you work at Tinker Air Force Base. And this one has quite a few homes available. It has 16. So like a 4-bed, 2-bath at $295,000, which it's because it's less expensive because more is less expensive. So I definitely wanted to show you that. This one's under construction. I think they have some that are already built like this one. This plan is also a 4-bedroom. And so you can see the inside. It is similar to the Landmark homes. It's just a different company. And they're just going to have different things in their neighborhoods. They have a few other things that differentiate them. Like with Tabor, you always get a storm shelter, things like that. This home is pretty. I don't know why they didn't take professional photos or better professional photos, but here we are. Has that tile floor. And that was the study. Sorry, I know I'm going super fast. Oh, and they have these walk-in showers in the Tabors. I rarely see these in some of the other homes. Like, I really like the walk-in showers because it means that you don't have a shower door to clean, which is amazing because they are a pain in the butt. I always love sharing this time with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you like this video. You can't give it 2 thumbs up, but give it 1 thumbs up for me, please. Drop a comment if you haven't already, and I will see you next Tuesday at 6:30. Thanks so much.